City of Stevens Point Board of Public Works meeting, recorded January 13, 2025.
We'll call the Board of Public Works meeting to order. It is 6:44. Trish, could we get a roll call, please?
Sure. Mayor Weeza.
Here.
Ginger Keemer.
Here.
Chris Tiffany.
Here.
Mary Kneebone.
Here.
Sean Morrow.
Here.
Dean Shuda.
Here.
And Dustin Boozy.
Is excused. So we do have a quorum. We will continue. Item number 1 is the Director's Report with highlights on Division and Church Reconstruction, 2025 street improvements, and West Zinda Bridge. Director?
So starting with the Division of Church Streets, Business 51, just wanted to let everyone know we have reached a 60% design through AECom. They will be working on some things to put on the website. We'll be updating schedules and stuff there. I have received a few calls, people asking what's going on. So that's where we're at, just trying to get a few more loose ends tied together, and then I'll start pushing things out. So you should see some things moving there. Also with that, and part of what's otherwise budgeted for this year, we'll begin real estate acquisition. So that process starts here at 60% design, so that will otherwise begin on both north and south ends of the project. Here we do have a sub-consultant to AECom. If you remember, there was part of their change order we approved the end of last year was the real estate professionals. Right Away Professionals is their actual name of the firm to do that work. And then lastly, just wanted to comment as I'm here is part of what we're otherwise planning for is the potential burying of the above ground infrastructure for the utilities. And so at 60% design, those plans have been shared with WPS, and they are in the process of coming up with their design and their cost estimate for what that is. I think we've done this before. For those that don't know, when actually requesting the utilities to bury that infrastructure, that is a compensable expense to the city. And the way that's basically determined, the formula is simply like, what does it cost to relocate it as it is above ground? What is the cost to bury it? And then what is otherwise charges, the difference between it, to save their tax, the ratepayers, then the difference comes as to who's making that request and making that change. So they're working on that now. We should know kind of in the beginning part of the spring, and then the hope would be to bring that forward. And if everything looks good, we'll try to get utilities relocated this year in anticipation of construction for next year.
Okay.
Moving on to Washington Avenue, I just wanted to point out, as we get into some of the more detailed design, we ran into an issue related to the sanitary sewer. We knew we had some deficiencies there. The DNR does require, depending upon pipe size, certain slopes to ensure that the waste otherwise moves through and you don't get waste left behind that needs to then be periodically cleaned out. Try as we might to try to get everything to work out within the project limits that we had defined, we just couldn't get it to work. So we're looking at it, what I was discussing with staff today, it looks like what we're going to otherwise propose is to change what we were looking at, block on West Street for a block on Grant Street and reverse some of it, come in there. So essentially a swap there to stay within our budget, but it's the only way we can come up with without spending a whole lot of money and tearing up stuff put in 2019 on First Street and some other things. We're adding additional blocks to get it to work out. So it's the lowest cost alternative to get everything to work out and meet the DNR requirements. So things will be going out to residents here soon. We're just finalizing some stuff internally, but wanted you to be aware of that. And lastly, after a lot of that, some, I think, very good news. After the DOT let the project for West Zinda Bridge, which will be constructed, worked on, this year, which came in high. Working with AECom, we submitted a change management request form to try to get some additional grant funding, and we were just recently told last week we were awarded that. So, in fact, the mayor's even signed the form. We sent it back in, so everything, paperwork is in there. So, about another almost, $124,000 in additional grant funding to cover the increased costs there.
Glad to see you got a grant.
Thank you.
Any questions for the director on those items?
I will just say that I appreciate any utilities that can move underground, especially with our weather and everything else. So.
Absolutely. All right, then I just need a motion to accept the director's report and place it on file.
So moved.
Thank you.
So second.
Seconded by Shuda. Any questions or comments from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? and that is approved. Item number 2 is ordinance amendments regarding Chapter 9. I think we have these every month.
Yes, we do.
This is really for stop signs, turn limitations, and bike lanes. The director's memo was attached. The one that threw me off was the 9.12 where it says bicycles and motor bicycles, but it's really about bike lanes, and that's outlined in paragraph 5 of his memo. Questions, comments, or a motion?
Motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded by this guy over here
Right there,
with the thing. Usually doesn't say anything.
the quiet guy there.
Sorry. Questions, comments from the board? Comments from the audience? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That is approved, and we are adjourned at 6:50.